بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته أخوتي وأحبتي بالله. Welcome to another night of the show of Richard & Co. Tonight we have a special night because it's about a video that went viral just a couple of days ago. It was from Brother Abdul Qadir, the CEO of Crisis Aid. In that video, many of you have seen it, and he made claims. He said that there's bodies in a hospital in London, that they are short of body bags, which they need to transport. Otherwise, if the body bags were not actually provided, they might cremate the bodies, the Muslim bodies. Brother Abdul Qadir went frantically trying to find an alternative, a solution for this, and he sent an appeal. He sent a video out on his WhatsApp, and that went viral. That caused a few ripples, and there was few also videos responding back to Brother Abdul Qadir. Tonight we will know what happened and what happened later as well. Why this video happened, took place, and then the video afterward, inshallah. So without further ado, we're gonna be bringing the brothers in, inshallah. Brother Abdul Qadir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. We have also as well my brother Suhail, Imam Suhail, tonight as well with us. Okay, Brother Abdul Qadir, we do have the video. Some of us have seen it. I'm happy to play it again if you want me to, so people can, audience can see it if you want, or you can just straight away tell us what you want, what happened with the video.
Because I've got a lot to say. Quite a lot to cover.
Yeah.
Let's just go through it because the video's viral. Everybody's got it on their WhatsApp, social media. You know, despite me removing it from my Facebook eventually, I can even tell you why I delayed to remove that as well. But we'll come to that inshallah. So let's get right to it.
Let's do it.
Ask questions. Let's deal with it. Bismillah.
Okay. So why did you make that video?
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasul al-Kareem. Amma ba'd. So I got a call. Or rather, I got a message on one of the groups that I'm on, and in that message it said that there are 33 bodies that will be cremated if body bags are not found urgently. So now I had a choice. I could take that message, copy it, paste it onto my other groups, and push it out everywhere. I could have made a video based on that actual message and put it on my Facebook and Instagram, etc. I could have used social media by just taking that particular information, and passing it along. But that would have been irresponsible.
Okay.
And I didn't do that because this is not my nature. This is not the way that I am. We have our training from Islam, Sharia. We know what is allowed to do, what is not allowed to do. If I did that, however, that would have been tantamount to narrating everything that you hear and see. And you know, and the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, it's enough for a person to be called a liar when he narrates everything that he hears or he sees. So what I did instead was, I called up that number.
Okay.
And I found that there was actually a person I knew for many years from before. So I spoke to him and I said, Akhi, what's going on here? What's the situation? He was very frustrated, very upset.
Okay.
And he said to me, brother, there's 33 bodies in the hospital, and they need to be removed. If we don't remove them, I fear they're going to cremate them. At the time now, that hit me like a ton of bricks, like a mountain fell on me, because I thought, you know, this is a brother I know, that I trust, that I've worked with before, and he's telling me this. So I said to him,
can you explain who's that brother, please?
Sorry?
Can you tell us who's that brother? What does he do for a living? What is his significance?
He runs a funeral service in North London.
All right.
He has been doing, him and his family have been doing this for over 35 years. He actually ran largest funeral service in Europe, the largest. He's chairman of the masjid that he's part of. So you can see he has all the credentials, and I've been there. I know him. He's a nice brother, alhamdulillah. Very, very soft, very sincere, and, you know, a very emotional brother as well. Anyway, he gave me the information, and after verifying with him, I said, okay, look, let's find some solutions. Why have you first run short of body bags? He said, run short of body bags because there's nothing in circulation. Everywhere I go to suppliers, they don't have any.
Okay.
So I remembered, I said, but the hospital, they should provide the body bag, because I've actually been to collect bodies myself in Luton Nursing Hospital, and they give it us in bags. He said to me, they also have run out of bags. Then he said to me, and listen to this carefully, because you're going to get a lot of additional information now,
okay.
Which I did put in my actual, my reply, in my application.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He said to me that, brother, I went to the hospitals and the nurses won't touch the bodies. They won't touch the bodies.
Okay.
So how are they going to put in a bag, even if they had a bag? But they don't have bags. They don't have the right PPE equipment to cover themselves with gloves, this, that, etc. They don't have that. There's a massive shortage. So they won't go near these bodies. And as for us, we don't have them either. We've run out of PPE clothing and gloves and visors and masks and aprons, etc. Not, the has completely run out. So what do? And he's refusing to pick them up himself. Initially on the phone, I thought he was saying they're refusing to give to him.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, after I keep on speaking to him, it transpired later that he's refusing to go and pick it up, because he's saying, why should I pick up that body when they themselves are afraid of touching that body? They're afraid of touching it, and they want me to go and take it. I said, look, there's loads of funeral services out there. They're just taking the body, wrapping it up in cloth and taking it. Just do that. He said, Abdul Qadir, this is my life. I'm risking. Why should I risk my life? So I said to him, okay, look, the latest government statement is that there's no danger. And check out what he says to me.
What?
He said to me, do you believe that? I said, well, I was just silent. Just listen to him. He said to me, the government are telling us we must stay 2 meters away from each other. The latest news is it travels for 8 meters in the air now, this sneezing and coughs. They're telling us we have to isolate. They're telling the doctors who are dealing with the COVID victims in hospital to wear head-to-toe visors, gloves, everything. Yeah, they're saying all this, and then they're saying to us as funeral services, there's no harm taking the body as it is. That doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So he didn't believe the government line. That's his view. He doesn't believe it, and he says that I'm not going to touch this. And those funeral services who do this, that's at their own risk. So I understood what he said, and I actually felt, maybe there's some weight in what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, let me see what I can do. So I went around ringing funeral services. Now, hear me out. This is before I made that video, right?
Yeah.
Before I made the video, that went viral. I'm actually calling the funeral service to see if I can source these body bags. Every funeral service I asked, they said we only have limited stock, and our suppliers cannot supply us anymore. Every one of them said that.
Uh-huh.
So then I thought, you know what? Let me speak to some non-Muslim funeral services. Maybe they can do better. So I spoke to them, and they said the same thing. We're out of stock. Whatever we've got, we need. The suppliers are empty. We don't know if we're getting any more in the future. We have to keep what we've got. I said to them, look, I'll pay you double than what you paid for it. Just, I want 33. Because there's bodies in there that need to be buried. And we're Muslims. We can't cremate. Uh-huh. He was very sympathetic, but he said, I really apologize. We need them. We just can't do this. So I said, alhamdulillah, no problem. Then I rang the last funeral service I rang, said to me that, you're going to find it really difficult to source these body bags because the NHS have purchased the whole lot. NHS have purchased from all of UK, all the suppliers have given everything to NHS. So for me, that was like, well, hang on a minute, that's strange. If they purchased it, why are they not giving it to the people here to use?
Okay.
So there was a lot of things that was not adding up in my mind, a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And from all these information that I gathered, it led me to believe that, yes, this brother is telling the truth. He can't get the body bags, and there are bodies lying there. So then what happened was, then what happened was, so basically I said, okay, fine. Let me put a video out, see if I can find some Muslims who have factories, and they can actually then, make them for us and get them over to us.
Yeah.
So then I made that video, that you saw.
Yes.
And Allah, I didn't intend it to go where it went. I sent it to my contact lists, put it on my Facebook page. And I've been doing videos like this for like 5 years. And I never, ever, 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 ever get a viral video going like this, ever. But this particular one, for some reason, went to the other side of the world and back.
Subhanallah. Yes.
So I said to myself, what on earth could have been the catalyst of this? Why? Normally, when I make call outs for people being bombed and killed in Syria, it doesn't go hardly anything like this. Or starving in Yemen. Those people in Africa who are the poorest people on the planet Earth in Karamojo, who are fighting for food. I don't get this. People are dying all over the world. I don't get this response. But these 33 bodies lying in a morgue, it just went viral everywhere. So I came to the conclusion now, this is like 2 days later, that I believe there were some instigators involved as well who took this video and thought, you know what, let's do something to bring this man down and bring Crisis Day down and ruin his reputation. And I believe they pushed it to a number of different places where they shouldn't have pushed it. And my evidence of that is the type of, I'm getting some hate or, messages and phone calls and, annoyances, etc. not. And that doesn't happen, from people who sincerely want to help you. However, having said that, if I take 100% of all the calls that I get, all the messages I got, 98% of them, 99% of them, all positive. Brother, we want to help you. How can we make this? You're doing a great job. How can we help you? Can we do this? Give me ideas, and factories called me. Alhamdulillah, I was able to, get about 10 factories on the board. All right, here's the sample, here's the picture, here's the spec, see what you can make.
Okay.
And they got them in touch with the NHS and they're dealing with it now. Okay. My point is that, so anyway, go back to the video.
Yeah.
When so I made that video. After the video, about a few hours later, I sat and I thought, you know what, that part my friend, the funeral director, told me about the cremation now. Yeah, I had some doubt about that now. This is after I put the video up.
Okay.
Is it possible that I could have made a mistake here?
Okay.
Because I remember myself following the news, the bill that came out 2 weeks ago, a week ago, so that they promised not to cremate the Muslim body. I even signed that, survey that was going on, that petition that was going around.
Yes.
So then all that started coming back, and I know it was passed, and I heard the government say, "Don't worry, we're not going to cremate any Muslims. You allow your culture and your religion." That started coming back in my head, but by this time, the video's gone, right?
Is that accurate, bro? Because I think the bill was about is they'll honor the wishes of the deceased family. So if the family said we don't want to cremate them, they will not cremate them. I spoke today with the CQC inspector. CQC is the Care Quality Commission. They are the ones who actually go and inspect the hospitals. And it said some hospitals, they do this service. So it could have been well-being that there was such a conversation took place. So the nurse could have said they might have to do and look for an alternative for the body to be buried.
No, I'm going to come to that.
Yes.
I'm going to come to that.
But the law itself, I'm not sure about the law. That the law is enshrined in law now. Okay. Now, Richard, it's enshrined in law. There's no way they can, cremate a body now. Once it's law, it's law. That's it. Nobody can do anything about that unless they change the law. You've got people watching from Kashmir, by the way,
which is a possibility in emergencies. Yes. Then that's different. Yeah, but we're talking about what the law states right now. You with me? Yeah. So let me continue. Yeah? So then what happened was, in a nutshell, the video I put out, I was very upset and I was emotional, and I really wanted to help the situation with these 33 bodies. I wanted them to come out and be washed and buried according to the Sunnah. It was very disturbing for me. That's why I made that video that I made. Alhamdulillah, the intention was good. I had no malice to mislead anybody or upset or alarm or scare or distress or cause anxiety. That was none of my intention. It was simply only to try and get some help to help the family of these deceased people, and give the deceased their rights. This was my intention, and this is why I put that video out. Anyway, then I got the clarification afterwards. People asked me, why did you take so long for the clarification? The reason why is because, that whole evening I had to go and travel to London and sit down with with the brother Ramadan and explain to him, what actually happened. Yeah, I would explain to him what actually happened, and then get him to make a video. And that took me quite some time, Yeah. So, Qadarullah ma sha fa'al, We got
Subhanallah.
that video done. Then all
Yeah.
night I spent writing, preparing the
Yeah.
actual refutation.
Shall we put the video that you made for the clarification on, the one you were speaking with Ramadan?
Yeah.
I'll put the video on, so the audience can actually see it. We'll be playing the video now that the brother Abdul Qadir made to clarify what happened and explain what happened. It was a brother that, as he said, he is have the funeral services in London. We'll see what's been said here.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Brothers and sisters, I'm here with Brother Ramzan, and he runs the funeral service here in London, which gave me the information that I had posted out yesterday. So, Ramzan, I want to ask you first question. Did you say to me that there are 33 bodies?
Yes, I told you that I have 33 funerals that I'm dealing with, okay? And I try to explain in the way that we are having a shortage of body bags.
Right. Okay.
So that is correct information.
Okay, so you can see the information I gave was from a trusted source. I know him, mashallah.
I'm the chairman of this mosque, the Sheikh Al Mosque, Masjid Ramadan. I'm also a funeral director. I'm also a cemetery specialist. 35 years we used to own Brookwood Cemetery, which is the largest cemetery in Europe.
Mashallah.
Okay, and this masjid, this mosque, has been here since 1977, and so I've taken over from my father.
And I'm going to ask him the question directly. You hear from his mouth himself. Ramzan, did you say to me that there are 33 bodies in hospitals and you're unable to pick them up because you don't have body bags?
What I said was that we are dealing with 33 funerals at this present moment, and there are more than 33 bodies in the hospitals, and we don't have the body bags to pick them up. The NHS don't have the body bags, and the nurse did say to me that if these bodies are not collected, they will be cremated.
Well, there you go. So this is my source, a trustworthy brother, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Me from the source after I checked it and I relayed it as it was.
Yes, Brother Suhail.
Assalamu alaikum.
So you want to tell us what happened, what you heard, because you were hearing things as well, and you were involved in a couple of conversations online.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, Jazakallah khair, Abdul Qadir, first of all, for clarifying a lot of things. I just want to summarize, because there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot of different moving parts to the whole thing, right? So I just want to ask, let's clarify, let's do a quick fire and clarifying these questions. Number one, is there a shortage of body bags?
Right. The answer is definitely 100%.
Right.
If I told you that the Nightingale Hospital, an individual from this hospital called me and told me that they need body bags. They need PPE equipment. That tells you itself. That's one. Second thing is, have you seen the link on my Facebook where the Sky News have clearly said that the NHS are being gagged? They're not allowed to speak. Why? Because there's a shortage of this PPE equipment.
Which includes body bags.
Includes body bags, indeed.
Okay.
Every supplier has no body bags, so there's definitely a shortage of body bags.
My next question then is, are there bodies lying in hospitals?
100% bodies lying in hospitals, in the mortuaries, waiting to be taken. I'll tell you why. Because the funeral services in London, Muslim funeral services, are limited in how many bodies they can take, how many they can process. They're all limited. You know, somebody told me, one individual, a respected, very important funeral service person said to me, the maximum that London can do is 20 a day. And that's very low. So there's bound to be bodies lying in different hospitals. And this particular funeral service I was working with, Ramadan Funeral Services, he told me there's more than 33 bodies, more than that, all over. Brothers and sisters, I'm here with Brother Ramzan. That he's got, that are his funerals. They're 33 and they're lying in the hospitals.
Okay. My next question is, will the hospital cremate these bodies?
No, I don't believe they will. However, the funeral service person, he believes they will. If nobody collects their bodies, he believes that they got no choice, that they'll cremate them. My view now is that if they got no choice, I still don't believe they're going to cremate them. And the reason why I hold that view is because the law came out, as you said, they passed a bill saying they will not cremate against the families' will, and the families will not allow them to cremate.
Okay. Good. Jazakallah khair. I hope that first of all clarifies a lot of different things. But I think what happened a lot when this video was going viral and alhamdulillah it was going out, it went far and wide. When it started happening, that I noticed little cracks were coming in. And what I mean by that is I was getting a lot of replies back to me saying, bro, this isn't true. Here's a video to show you this isn't true. Bro, this is not right. So has this been verified? All this stuff came back because there was other videos emerging saying that this was all fake news. Where was the misinformation? Where was the misunderstanding?
I'll tell you.
Can you give some clarification on that?
There was a chaplain. I don't know him. He pushed a video out, and that's the one that people used their basis on to say that this news was unfounded. It was fake.
Right.
However, this chaplain does not work in the funeral services. He's a chaplain. Yeah?
Right.
That's number one. He doesn't collect bodies. He might give the last rites, working in hospitals and etc. Maybe that he does, but is he involved in the funeral service? That's a question number one. Number two, that he said, I don't know of any shortages of funeral bags. I don't know. I've never heard that there's bodies lying in hospitals. Now, this term, these phrases he used, that doesn't mean that it's not happening.
Yeah.
It just means he hasn't got the knowledge. And he can't be expected to contain the whole of the knowledge of the NHS and what's going on. You know, I have some knowledge. He has some knowledge.
Yeah.
I respect his knowledge. He has to respect what I have. Likewise, the funeral service, that's their speciality. They go pick up bodies from different hospitals. He doesn't do that. So, of course, he's not going to have that knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, it is a case of everyone going on the knowledge that they've been given. And again, I think there's a lot of takeaway lessons we can take from this, from an Islamic perspective. And I just picked up on three of them. So the first one I picked up on was the idea of verifying news, which, I mean, both that Imam, whoever he was, the chaplain, and I'm sure yourself as well, you mentioned it in the video as well, that verifying news is important. And I think from your perspective, you did that.
Exactly.
You did that from your perspective. He's also done it from his perspective. Can you give us a Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to go tit for tat on the whole thing, but you're right. Good point.
Can I
there.
just say something?
What I want to focus on is the idea of verifying information from an Islamic perspective, bro.
Okay, I'm going to come to that in a minute. I just want to add one point on here. You know, if I saw somebody stealing, yeah, and you said, "Man, I never saw nothing." You know, I'm affirming. I saw it. I was there. I saw it. You wasn't there. And you said, "Well, I didn't see anything." You know, any judge will take the word of the one who saw, felt, who was there, and not somebody who, I don't know, I was in Lula land somewhere, you know, I was dreaming. So anyway, the point is, I'm not saying that's the case with him, with the Imam. I'm saying that, you know, he doesn't know. And people should not be speaking if they don't know. Have knowledge and know. That funeral service man had knowledge. He knew. He's on the ground. He's got the positive information.
Yes.
And the Imam, that the chaplain had the negative information.
Yes.
Anyway, coming out to the verification problem now, yeah?
Yes.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, إِن جَاءَكُمْ فَاسِقٌ بِنَبَإٍ فَتَبَيَّنُوا. And if a evil person comes to you with knowledge, then you must verify this. Why verify it? So that a qawm doesn't go through any fitna, trial, tribulation. So sometimes you can actually apply that. You can verify to the best of your ability, yeah? And then at the end of it, still find out that, you know what, the information was wrong. Sometimes you verify, alhamdulillah, the chances of when you verify is always, of it being wrong is less, because you're verifying. But there is also a small possibility that when you do the process of verification, the information still comes wrong. Now I'm going to give you examples. Imam Bukhari, rahimahullah, was he a verifier or not?
Yeah, of course he was.
He's probably one of the greatest verifiers in the world that ever lived. How many times has he made a hadith sahih and then later make it weak, da'if, when information comes to him?
Yes, his journey. The thing is with Imam Bukhari, his journey did exactly what Imam Abdul Qadir did. He actually would go to the man and speak with him. Says, "Have you heard it from such a man?" Yes. And then he was actually the one who established Jarh wa Ta'dil after that, anyway. But he was actually speak with the man, which what you did. You went and spoke with Ramadan. You spoke with Ramadan, and he's got an authority. Yes.
Imam Muslim, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani.
Yeah.
Did they not do the same? Find ahadith as-sahih.
Yeah, they did the same, and they actually, yeah.
Or Hassan, Imam al-Albani, rahimahullah, in a contemporary day and age, did he not make hadith as-sahih? He went through the process of verification.
Yes.
But later, more information came, and he changed it.
Yes, correct.
So there's no aib, nothing bad about changing your opinion about something after you've done your verification.
Yeah.
If it comes out that, you know what, this isn't right. What is bad though? What is really bad, which is unacceptable, is after you've done your verification, you believe it was true, but then more information came to you, and you realize, you know what, even though I verified this is wrong, and you still hold back and say, no, I'm absolute. I was right. You don't admit your mistake. You don't humble yourself before Allah. You forget yourself. You forget. You're going to be held accountable. This is what is wrong. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't make me like that.
Alhamdulillah.
We have a comment here from Zainab Ali. She's a key worker on YouTube, and she's saying, "I'm a key worker. Yes, there is a shortage of PPE, body bags, gloves, and masks."
Alhamdulillah. So if she wants body bags, I'll get some for her. I've got 1,500 now.
Well, she's online. She can hear you. So get in touch with the Crisis Aid to solve this problem, Sister Zainab.
I did want to mention as well. I think it led me on nicely to my next point, which is the point about the fallibility of man. Like human beings, we can make mistakes. It's part of being a human being to make mistakes, right? And like you mentioned the likes of Imam Bukhari. Even these are top personalities, giants within our ummah, yeah. And they make mistakes. I mean, people can make mistakes, and I think the point that came from there wasn't more the fact that we're talking about mistakes. I think it was more the response that really affected me quite a lot. Because I know you personally, bro. I've known you for a long time. I know you as an individual and what the type of person you are. I know the work that you're effortlessly doing and the team that you're doing at Crisis Aid. May Allah bless you all. And then when I hear messages and people saying things like, and I showed you the screen, I showed you the message. I mentioned it to you yesterday. I showed the brothers the message. There was a message that I read that said apparently someone contacted the bro and he said he did it, he lied about it, just so he could get popular.
Yeah. I'll tell you something else going around now I found. And this message came to me. Someone said, "How dare you do this, brother?" And a message came in and said that basically we've sourced these body bags and you can buy them from us for £10 a piece.
Wow.
As if he said, was this your intention all the while to make it viral and then charge people for the money for the item? I thought, subhanAllah, how people are adding these things and they put my name at the bottom as if it was from me.
Yeah,
they put the WhatsApp group messenger and it had my name on it. Somebody copied it, put something on top of themselves. It's really, really bad. I
mean, this is where I saw there's a lot of slanderous comments. There's a lot of slanderous comments about Crisis Aid as well. So I think, again, my point is when we're looking at it from an Islamic perspective, can you give us a little bit of information, a bit of understanding on the Islamic perspective of having husn dhan and having good opinions in that kind of area as well, please, bro?
Okay, first thing we have to lay down as a foundation is that the Prophet ﷺ, he said in a hadith Qudsi that Allah said that that if you were a qawm, a people that never sinned, never made a mistake, then Allah will wipe you out and create a qawm that did make sin and did make a mistake. So if we have a foundation, we know now that insan wa khuliqa al-insanu da'ifa, that man has been created weak and he will make these errors, he will make these mistakes. And then we know from the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Kullu bani Adam khata'in wa khayruhum at-tawwabin." that every son of Adam will be a sinner or will make mistakes. But the best of those who make the mistakes are those who repent and repair what they've done wrong. These are the two things we put the hadith, we put as a foundation. Then we are one ummah. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Allah said in the Quran, وَأَنَّ هَذِهِ أُمَّتُكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدًا وَأَنَّ رَبُّكُمْ فَاتَّقُونَ. That very this ummah is one ummah, and I am your Lord, so fear me. In another ayah, وَأَنَّ رَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُونَ. And I am your Lord, so worship me. So my point is that we are one ummah.
Yeah.
So therefore, if we are one ummah, it can't be just we're one ummah, now go and do whatever you want, however you please. There's got to be rules on how this ummah engage with one another, how they live with one another. And, gossip and slander and, backbiting and calling names, cheating, being malice, all these things, have, rules in a community, in an ummah to prevent them.
Yeah.
So from them, Allah said in the Quran, He said, وَلَا تَغْتَبْ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا. Do not let any of you backbite others. وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا. And do not be, spying on one another. There's so many ayahs in the Quran where Allah says, don't do this, don't do this. If you do this, this is going to punish with that. This is a punishment with that. And on the flip side, Allah said, if you abstain from these things and you do good, I'll give you reward instead. I'll give you reward instead of punishment. Yes. So, for example, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said in Surah Majah that whoever covers his brother's faults when he makes a fault and mistakes, then Allah will cover his fault Yawm al-Qiyamah. Whoever defends his brother's ummah, his brother's honor in this life, then Allah will remove a burden from him on Yawm al-Qiyamah.
Yeah.
So He gives the rewards to encourage good practice, to encourage brotherhood, love, making excuses for one another.
So basically, what we're saying is that it's about all the good manners. There's no shame. There's nothing wrong in actually presenting a case by actually making a question, instead of actually making all these allegations about. And it's practically character assassination, really. What some of the comments were, and we've seen them.
Line, like I said, because when you look at those that are actually spreading it. Unfortunately, they have, and I don't want to talk too deep about this, but some of them have issues with my understanding of Islam and what I represent of my masjid.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, not all of them. And the others, unfortunately, there's some jealousy involved as well. Mm-hmm. And they've seen this as an opportunity to just, blacken my name. But you know what? Alhamdulillah, Allah will maintain His name. There's a hadith which reminds me of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said that, whoever humbles himself before Allah, Allah will raise him in ranks. And he used his hand to be something like this. And whoever is arrogant and thinks himself as powerful and good and strong, then Allah will humiliate him like this in this life.
Yeah.
So for me, alhamdulillah, I strive as much as I can be free from arrogance and showing off and trying to be in control and being a leader in a point of leadership and
yes.
everything which is, going to make you arrogant and you're basically haughty and think so much of yourself. I try to avoid this as much as I most possibly can.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to balance that with the fact that this ummah needs leaders.
Mm-hmm.
We need managers. We need people to lead, to show the way, to encourage others. So it's a matter of balancing these two, inshallah.
Yeah. So what we're saying is that some of these comments, at least, were not fueled because of black and white, truth or wrong. It was fueled because of other differences, the doctrine differences between you and them. And this is an important issue here, because we Muslims, at the end of the day, we're united by, we believe in monotheism, we believe in Tawheed, in oneness of Allah Azza wa Jal, we believe in Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and we might have differences, like the Sahaba did. And the whole nation afterward, the Ummah, had differences. But the important thing is to have manners, great manners. Rasulullah ﷺ says, وَمَا بُعُثْتُ إِلَّا لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I was only sent to finalize the finesse of good manners, the utmost manners. And that's the thing. Sometimes we're so harsh with one another, and yet we're so ultra polite with non-Muslims. And that we should be polite with everybody. We actually give it.
Right.
We even have more rewards if we actually polite with one another. So, there's nothing wrong if the chaplain here or a sheikh here or even a normal person says, this is not true as far as I'm concerned. Let's try to focus on the NHS being a good provider or what have you. The issue is the manners that has been said, the character assassination that has been you've been targeted. We've seen some of the comments. Brother Suhail himself answered some of them, and they were just harsh. Tell us about some of the comments, Brother Suhail.
Yeah, I saw comments that like had nothing to do with Crisis Aid, for example, and they were quite, they were like saying, what kind of organization is this? And like, what did Crisis Aid do? It was Abdul Qadir who said something, but Crisis Aid got blamed for it, and it was like, and then like I said, what was an issue for me more than anything was, it was everyone was gunning for you before, or even when you put a clarification out there and say, look, okay, there was this error, there was that error, I've said this is what I said, there may be mistakes here, and like people are still gunning. I mean, even now in the comments we've got people saying, just admit you made a mistake. And like, he's just done that. That's the whole point. Is like we've had that whole discussion.
Yes.
And if I can go back, bro, if I can wrap that is, going back to the point about you saying, why is it happening, or why does this kind of thing happen? I'm trying to maintain my husn al-dhan as much as I can, but if I'm honest with you, I think it's because we live in a social media world, bro. I think we live in such a social media world that people are so quick to jump on a computer and be able to throw a comment out there. Like, we've got Google scholars left, right, and center. And I'm not saying the chaplain or anyone like that. I'm saying generally. I'm not pointing any fingers at specific individuals here. I'm just saying generally, unfortunately, we have people who are very quick to judge. Very quick. And it's so easy to do it because everyone has a platform. Everyone has such a platform now, so their voice can be heard. Social media allows anyone to do that. Like we're doing on this show right now. We've given a platform. Everyone's got a platform they can. So social media, all you got to do is pick up your phone, make a video, throw it out there. And it's so easy to do.
You see, this is the thing, Silas. See, you use the word social, society. We've still got rules, Islamic rules that have to apply here. And the people are not using them. Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, he said it's not permissible for you to make a judgment on somebody's speech until you know where he got it from and what he meant by that.
I mean, look.
Yes.
If I can just add, bro, I mean, like reflecting on what you said, I've probably been guilty of it myself. In fact, I probably know I've been guilty of it myself. I've probably done it to others as well, and it's a case of, I mean, we're all learning it, not with you, bro, I'm saying in general speaking. So I can see myself have probably done it before. But again, that's the whole point is from learning is you realize that, you know, it's not always the case that people do that. My biggest issue was the hypocrisy of it all, where you've got like people are so quick to jump on other people's mistakes, but forget about their own mistakes that they've made. Like, you know, other people, you like their own errors. Don't talk about your own errors, but you're quick to jump on other people's.
You know, you remind me of a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Whoever follows up his brother's mistakes, I mean, looks for his brother's mistakes and follows him and exposes him all his mistakes, and Allah will expose this person's mistakes, even the ones he commits when he's on his own, between his four walls."
SubhanAllah.
Yeah, Allah, it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous.
It's definitely serious matter, and I've got to commend you, Abdul Qadir, for putting out the clarification video. I think that was important as well. That the clarification video went out. And just a question on that: is this also from the Sunnah to do that, like to put that clarification out?
Yes, definitely. Whenever there is confusion, where there is misunderstanding, it's clearly from the Sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that he would clarify his position, make it clear to the people, and the Sahaba would do this, Tabi'in. This is the way of Islam.
Yes.
If there's confusion,
True.
you must clarify. You must.
Yes.
And part of clarification means if you've made an error, you rectify that.
Correct. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam, once he was in his mosque in Ramadan, and in Ramadan, especially the last 10, he would actually put a tent in his mihrab, and he would just pray the 5 solidly the last 10 days. And he would even say to his followers, don't follow my suit because Allah Azza wa Jalla will feed me and give me water. So don't follow my suit because I'm different in that way. And then one night, his wife Safiya missed him. So she came and sat with him and he spoke with her. It says, Sa'a min az-zaman. So it doesn't have to be 60 minutes, but she sat with him. And then he went to walk her back home. Now, when he was going back, 2 Sahabas saw them walking. So Muhammad ﷺ with the shadow of a woman. And he says, and so they tried when he got to him, just to go quickly, because maybe they're having a private conversation and they don't want to be intruding. And he says, "Ala mahlikum innaha Safiya." So Muhammad ﷺ got what they think this, we don't know what's going on. So explain to them to protect them from the whispers of the shaitan, to help them. He didn't say, I'm the man of the ummah, how dare you? He says, no, I can see there's a situation, I need to clarify it. And it's very clear, وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَنفُسِكُمْ فِي الشُّبْهَةِ. You know, don't put yourself in a place where it's actually shubha. We need to avoid that. My microphone was on mute earlier when I talked about Hatib ibn Balta'a, so I'll need to say it again, so sorry about this. I was talking about Hatib ibn Balta'a, that Hatib ibn Balta'a is Badri, and he committed a crime. He's a Sahabi, committed a crime, and Muhammad ﷺ called upon him. He sent his followers to bring him over. So he came over, and Umar ibn Khattab was there. So Umar ibn Khattab said to Rasulullah ﷺ, let me take off his head. So he was taking permission from the authority. He's not just going to do it himself, but he committed a crime, and it's just that happened. And Muhammad ﷺ said to him, hold on, maybe Allah Azza wa Jal have looked into the hearts of the Badris and forgave them all the sins. And the point here, sometimes even the best of people make mistakes. But when they make these mistakes, you have to take in consideration the whole picture. The whole picture. So don't forsake the whole of the history because they made a mistake now. No matter how big it is. If the mistake is big, they'll get a punishment for it. They'll apologize, they'll redeem themselves and move on. You don't just keep bringing the past and you forget the past. This is exactly what is being kanud. In the insana kana li rabbihi lakanud. And kanud is when, subhanallah, somebody had some hardship, he forget all the blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal. This is al-kanud. So when somebody make a mistake, you forget all the past good deeds of the brother or the sister because they made this mistake. We should not be doing it. That is what I said before, and I'm sorry my phone was silent. Sorry, Abdul Akhi, back to you.
To me?
So back to you.
Sorry.
Yes.
Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair for that clarification, Richard. I think we've clarified a lot of things that need to be discussed. Abdul Qadir. Where there are a few comments, Richard. I don't know if you want to get them up and we can discuss them.
Yeah,
Anyone
sure.
questions for Abdul Qadir? But one thing I did want to ask, actually, there was a question that someone sent me. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay, let's start. There's a few comments. Obviously, some of them have been made. So some of them are controversial, but let's just get them all, if you don't mind, Abdul Qadir.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll answer everything. I've got nothing to hide.
So you've got lots of subhanallah, jazakallah khair for all your effort. Allah bless the brother, inshallah. You got to bless many of them, alhamdulillah. So, but you got, for example, Naznaz, she's saying, he or she, I don't know. I'm only a foreigner, by the way. He made a mistake. He shouldn't have to justify his actions so much. Islam is about forgiving one another. Simply move on. His intention were good. So this is one to support, inshallah. There's another one saying by Suzanne MacLeod. She's saying, can I suggest you speak to the mortuary manager and report his to the management of the hospital? Now we know you have a close relationship with him, but that's one suggestion. We've got.
Can I just say something on that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the funeral service person I know, Ramadan, who I worked with, he said he heard with his own ears on the video that the staff in the hospital told him, if you do not take these bodies, as they are, then we will end up cremating them. Now, that is wrong. And as Susan MacLeod said, that, that needs to be taken up and followed up. So, whether the funeral service will do that or not, that's between them and between each other, not me. I'm the third person here, right? He's the second, and then the woman's the first. But like I said, the NHS are overstressed, they're overworked, they're under a lot of pressure, they're ill-equipped, they've got a lot of problems themselves. So personally, I excuse that woman or who told him that. And I excuse her because it's just pressure, stress, like I made a mistake, she made a mistake, Okay. So really taking up and ruining her life, putting a complaint for that, for something which she made a mistake. No, that's not my role. I don't do them sort of things.
Yeah. So we've got also Ashraf Alam. He's saying, you are still perpetuating an error. Even if there is a shortage of body bags, hospitals are not refusing to release bodies without them. Again.
Say that again. Is he saying that the hospitals are not saying they're going to release is he saying the hospitals are going to release them without the body bags?
That's what he's saying. But as far as we know, we spoke earlier with the CQC inspector.
Right. He's right, Richard. Okay. Richard, he's right. They will release the bodies without a body bag. They will do that.
Okay.
You know why?
Why?
Because the government relaxed the laws when they found out there's a massive shortage of PPE equipment.
Okay.
Including body bags.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, the government was saying, you can't. It goes from the body bag. You can't open the body bag. You have to bury it straight away as it is. And now, when they found there's a shortage of PPE equipment and body bags, they've relaxed the law. They said, no, it's fine. There's no illness. There's nothing to worry about.
Okay.
So that brother, he's correct in what he says, that the hospital will let it go without a body bag. But the problem is this: will the funeral directors take it without the body bag?
Well, yes. The thing is, as far as I know, and this comes from, again, CQC inspector that we had conversation with earlier, the hospitals are, to say the least, are very keen not to release the bodies without complete seal, and that's get them in the body bag because concern of the contamination that might carry, and the virus might still be alive if it was within 24 hours.
I mean, just look at that. They're saying that. Why does the government say now that it's okay, take it without a body bag? Why?
Because there's no bags. We've got Majid Freeman. That's a bit long one. So he's saying, brother, Sheikh Yunus Dudwala isn't some random chaplain. He is also part of the National Burial Center, and you are saying that he should He should have stayed silent if he doesn't know better. You made the mistake and is still pointing fingers at others. Brother, nobody's are going to get cremated, and your source made a mistake. If these 33 bodies are waiting to be cremated, ask your source which hospitals are these bodies in, and which hospitals threaten to cremate the bodies. Everyone make mistakes. When we make a mistake, we own up, and that's the end of it. Not make but this and that, and point fingers at others who corrected us.
Okay, let me respond to this, yeah?
Yeah.
Mr. Freeman, number one, there's two matters here, which are discussed. One is the 33 bodies in the hospitals, and the second is the issue of the cremation. I've already told you, and I'm telling you on a third, fourth, fifth time, that no bodies are going to be cremated. No bodies are going to be cremated. Is that clear? Yeah, I know this now. I realized afterwards, and that's why, and I don't know if you see my clarification, but go to my clarification, you'll see I've already made that clear. Mm-hmm. So forget this issue of cremation now, right?
And you apologize for this error.
Bodies, one second.
Yeah.
As for the 33 bodies in the hospitals, I have every right to criticize that Muslim chaplain. Why? Because he said he does not know of any 33 bodies that need to be collected. Just because he doesn't know, it doesn't mean it's not happening. And is he above criticism? If we can stand here and criticize our own government, we can criticize our leaders, our imams and everything. Why can't we criticize him? Who is he? Some kind of beer that you can't, say he's done something wrong? My point is here, I don't want to get over emotional about this, but
I understand, yes.
My point here is that everybody makes mistakes. And your chaplain made a mistake when he said that there are no 33 bodies. There are more than 33 bodies in London. And if you want to name the hospitals, they're in Peckham, they're in Lewisham, they're in Delston. There's 3. Start with that and go and see. I've got this information from the funeral service. The funeral service man has got 33 bodies given to him by these hospitals. Come and get them. He can't get them. He's got no body bags.
Yes.
So, I don't know what you're trying to say.
Yes. I'm sorry. I know this might be a difficult conversation, but I think the thing is, when you're actually doing da'wah or you're trying to help out, you'll always get sticks in the wheel, no matter what you do. And the ones who don't make mistakes because they don't work. As a simple thing. Sometimes when we go on a mission for crisis aid, trying to get support food for people who are in need, we go and queue up. We go from one supermarket to another, instead of just getting it off the shelf and give it to the people. People don't know about that. And what we say to ourselves as being a volunteer, the more hard we do, the more inshallah reward we will get. So inshallah, will be more rewards for you, Brother Abdul Qadir, because I know it's a struggle. Subhanallah. There's more calls.
Sorry to butt in.
Yes.
Maybe just a point that may help as well is let's get the two brothers on the phone. Let's get these two individuals on the phone. Look, at the end of the day, no one wants to be fighting and bickering within each other. Look, especially now when we're in such a situation where this is the time to together more than anything. I would welcome and I would like this to happen. If this could be happening, if Brother someone who was able to do this, let's discussion with two individuals. Let's get some. Look, we have to come together now, right? And look, mistakes were made. We're not saying and the whole point of it was to say, well, no one's infallible. Everyone can make mistakes. Everyone can make mistakes, right? We're saying let's try and resolve and let's try and come together to resolve this situation and resolve what's been discussed. We're not trying to get tit for tat again. I don't want to get into the whole issue of this and that. He said, she said, and all the rest of it. But let's actually come together and resolve some of these issues. And that's one of the reasons why we did the show today, is so that we can do that. And I think, and generally speaking, I think we have had that.
Yes.
I hope that's come across and I hope that's clear for a lot of people.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Well, thank you, Brother Abdul Qadir, for coming on tonight and also still following the Sunnah by trying to clarify the name instead of being stubborn or being a bit mutakabbir, arrogant about it. Alhamdulillah, this is humbleness, and Jazakallah khair, this is good manners. Any last words, brother?
Just like to say that, alhamdulillah, I want to speak to anybody about anything. I have nothing to hide. I'm open in what I do, and alhamdulillah. Just to finish off on this one note, that the first video that went viral, I did that video with good intention, wanting to save 33 bodies from being cremated. I believe, because at that time I believed it was going to be cremated, and I was very worried. I was upset. I was emotional, and I did. And I'm that type of a person. If there's a problem, I get cracking to try and solve it.
Yeah.
So that was my intention behind it. There was nothing. I didn't do this to alarm, to scare, to frighten people, to worry people. And if that was the result of my first video, then I apologize again if anybody was upset and alarmed and became anxious over what I said.
I just take this as a lesson, bro. I think Allah does these things to give us lessons from it, and I'm sure everyone can take and benefit some of the lessons from what's happened here yesterday and today. Yeah. I hope, inshallah, that's the case, that we do take these lessons and we can extract these lessons as we've discussed in the show. Now, I just want to make this point here that please, if you're making comments, please watch the whole show before you make a comment, because a lot of stuff has been clarified. Inshallah, I hope a lot of stuff has been clarified. And if you still have an issue, call me or put a message in the Fast FM inbox. And what we'll do is we'll even link you with Abdul Qadir, right?
Yeah.
We'll even link him. I'm sure he won't mind me giving his mobile number. He's already done it, to be honest.
Well, I didn't do it. The whole world did it.
So we can link you. If you feel that there is still clarification that's needed, by all means, first of all, please watch this whole video. Watch the videos that Abdul Qadir's put out, the clarification videos that Abdul Qadir's put out. If you still have issues, come and drop us a message, and we'll link you with Abdul Qadir, and Abdul Qadir can clarify further, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair.
Allah yabarak feek.
Allahumma ameen. Jazakumullah khair.
Thank you for this opportunity for clarifying this matter. Jazakallah khair to Newcastle FM.
Allah bless you. Jazakallah khair, bro, for coming on. May Allah bless all of our ummah. May Allah bless all of us. I'm sure we're all working we're all sincere in working for the right way, inshallah. So may Allah bless everyone who's been involved in this whole situation, and may Allah help us.
Allah, one question for Richard.
Yes.
Did you saw that the lady out who needed some help?
The lady who
I sent you a couple of days ago, name, address of a lady who needs some help.
Yes, bro. Yes, it's all sorted. Alhamdulillah. We'll talk somewhere after this show, inshallah. But it's all sorted.
Yeah,
you should know that things are in safe hands with me, bro.
No doubt. I just wanted to hear it.
Yeah, it's all. If you check your message, I think I've told you that it's all done.
Okay. Yeah. Finally, I can't even check the messages because it's been bombarded.
Fair enough. Yes, but anyway, Jazakumullah khair for coming, dear brothers and sisters. So inshallah, we have clarified the issue. We have talked about what happened and the process of how this progressed, and I hope Brother Abdul Qadir have answered all your questions. And like Brother Suhail said, if you have any questions after watching the video and you still have questions that hasn't been answered, please drop us a line and we'll try to get you the answer or even link you with Imam Abdul Qadir. The moral of the today is there's no problem of asking the question. The problem is of how you ask the question. The moral of the story is you'll have to have husn al-dhan in your brother Muslim or sister. Wait till you know what happened, why it happened, how it happened, all the circumstances about it before you actually make a judgment, jump on the wagon and start slandering the brother or the sister. This is not on. Adab, good manners, is what we need to have among us. Ar-Rahmah we need to have. Allah, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, the person who have a mercy in his heart, that's a mercy from Allah Azza wa Jal. If Allah Azza wa Jal love a person, will put a mercy in his heart. When you see in your heart that you have no mercy for your brother, you have to review yourself. Jazakumullah khair for tuning in. Inshallah, we'll be come back soon with another show. If you have any suggestion for a show or a personality or something we need to discuss, please let us know. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.